Hey guys, we got some questions about the 3-3 invasion. Uh, and of course, we've done enough videos now where if you go back through what are we at, 350, 400 videos, but however many, if you search through all of those, you'll come up with the answers. Yeah, well, that's a heck of a task. So we're repeating some stuff, which is a perfectly wonderful thing to do. Okay, so let's look at some 3-3 stuff. Some of it's going to be obvious and simple, and you go, well, that's stupid. Everyone knows that. Great. Well, some people don't. And we'll look at various stuff. Okay. And we're always at least here. And now, two things about the honey. Thing one, don't do it. Virtually ever. Because, first off, it's gote, which isn't so bad. That is to say, if you already had this stone in, right? And it looked like this, and hey, I built my wall. Yeah, it's gote, but it works so well here. Okay, then that's fine, but not this wall, because this is too easy for white. The idea being, let's just imagine black says, oh, I'm going to surround you. Well, the two stones on top are not healthy. We're not saying they are now dead. We're saying that whatever black does, it's easy for white to move forward and therefore escape or do whatever he wants. White has too much freedom. So now let's look at a wall in gote that we do feel okay about. Okay, we have our top star point, the middle one, K16 in place. Then we hane. Okay, that's a different wall. There's no two ways around it. Now, still gote, but if the peep and we go for the surround, hey, we can handle the three stones are significantly easier to handle. Okay. If we ask other questions like, oh, Shygost, how many times have you seen this wall in actual professional play? Never. But we can imagine it being a rational choice. I want a wall. I don't care if it's in gote. I'll just make sure it's nice and strong. Okay. Next. What about this one? Which is sort of the point of the video. As I understand it, that's the specific question the fellow asked. Now, I'm going to do that without just because I want to look locally and not globally. Okay, so here. What I used to do, jump out. Duh, why not? Well, I kept getting punished. And now, something I've mentioned a number of times on the videos, I play a move and I keep playing it without too much concern about should I play differently this time. No, I like to play the same move in a whole lot of variation contexts. And then if I start getting punished, it's like, oh, now I see why I don't want to play this move anymore. So this guy, oh, ladder, stop the ladder, and black gets a wonderful turn. Let's say white does the Atari. So black got into the corner. White's over concentrated, really quite. It's white got used. Now, worse than that would be here. Because now if you fix, you don't have a capture yet, right? You haven't captured the stone. So now that's only one eye, not two. And, oh, but we can always come back and take. Not really, it's a ko. So this white group is not half as alive as it appears. Now, in the games where I've played, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to be out with some good shape in the A area. Well, that's true, but it kept coming back as, I'm just never feel like I can trust this group. It always gets too close for comfort. And that's when I saw my Dr. Baduk guy. I love him on YouTube. He's so, gosh, I saw him the other day. It could have been an old video, but it's the first time I saw it, where he played a world champ. Now it's 20-second clock. So it's not like, oh yeah, 10 hours each. But still, he beat the guy. I've seen him beat pro after pro after pro. I mean, he's really strong. So anyway, he was in this situation, and he plays here. And I go, well, that makes sense. The 3 in a row, we know the rule, right? 3 in a row is not enough, which is why we make it 4. So it all made sense. So, okay. Then it's like, well, you can also play here, right? Because now you can Hane and move into the corner if you want. Okay. So we can either get out ahead, like this move, jump out ahead when you can, except do it with only 1 cut instead of 2. Okay. I've seen that, and I play that. Or don't jump at all and make a good strong shape, more points, and sente. And now you can jump or do whatever. Let's imagine one more, then we Tanuki, and this is, you can push until this is gote. We don't see that a lot because the black A areas, I mean, that's a pretty nice turn. Now, we don't yet have context as to what's going on in the A area. On some board, you could care less of black turns, so you're delighted to take your sente. Other places, you don't dare do it. Of course, you're going to come out. So it depends on context. Okay, so that was all about what if black plays here. And we don't jump because it's just too weak. So I've mentioned this before. Something you hear strong players say, which cracks me up. I think it's the funniest thing. They'll look at your move. It's like, oh, that's a terrible move. Now, when they do the analysis, you start understanding a bunch of stuff. Turns out that was a 98% move, meaning it was almost perfect. But their attitude is, oh, that's terrible. It's terrible because everyone knows it's less than 100%. Why would you play such a move? And it's like, just a second. I played a move that was amazingly good. Tiny, tiny bits of error. So I don't mind if a move is slightly off. Well, of course I don't mind. In every game I've ever played my whole life, something's off somewhere, and it's totally to be expected, right? So I've played A with success many times. I'm not going to do it again unless the context demands it. But it was a fine move. And it was whatever percent, and now I'm playing a higher percent. And then I'll get more understanding and play a higher percent. So it's, don't worry about, oh, I played a bad move. Of course you did. We all do. Okay. So we were talking about the Hane at A. Let's get back to that. And we don't do the wall. Okay. then why haunt it? Because you want to double haunt it. So, 99% of you guys know this cold, but we're going to do it anyway. White really doesn't want to save because, yeah, we're alive in the corner, but the outside is so thick and strong towards the top, left, and center. It's like way in black's favor. Now on some other board, we know, oh, but white has a Panuki there, and white has a Panuki over here, and it's really black's getting nothing. Great, then go ahead and play it. And I have played it, I believe, correctly. But you better have a pretty specific context, because what black's getting is really thick and wonderful. Okay. Therefore, that's why we capture. This for black, I'm going to call this 98% value for black, meaning instead of 50-50 split, it's a white has 50.09 and black has 49.01. I don't do the math for me. Strong players just don't do this. Now, we just talked about we don't care if it's, oh, it's only a 98% move. That's a wonderful move. Like here, this is wonderful for black. What's the problem? We have lots of points, lots of life. What's the problem? Well, if you're 5 cube, there's no problem. If you're 1 cube, I don't think there's a problem. 1 or 2 done, is there? No, there's no problem. You're not going to get abused up until you're probably 3 dawn on up. If you play this as 6 dawn, you're better know some context is special. The problem is, if we just look at this exchange, which can happen next move if we want, white now has a free move at A. Now let's just put that in context. Black has this wonderful top moyo. Oh, we're all so afraid of the moyo. Really? Free move. Corner's about to die. Oh, that was easy. A free move, you can live anywhere you want. You can do anything you want. Free move. So trying to build a moyo based on that corner isn't going to work. Now, I very strongly remember thinking, oh, now I know that trick. And I did it against a computer. I'm like, great, I'm coming in. And he says, no, you're not. You're just dead. Oh, but then, and he says, yeah, take the corner. I don't care. Oh, it felt like he was cheating when he did this. Like, you can't do that. You have to save your corner. But you don't have to save the corner. So when you see the moyo coming, you go, you know, I don't want black to make that choice. So you do this, make sure you do it in time so that he will play this way. So that you know you have that option. Did that make sense? So black has an option here. Do I want to give white the corner or not? And of course, I'm not going to give him the corner unless we're later in the game when I love my top area. Then, of course, please take the corner. I'll take the entire top. Okay. So given this position, the idea of playing this right now, every time, you're never going to be wrong. Someone might go, well, it's not perfect timing. I don't want perfect timing. So I used to play this all the time right away. I don't anymore. Because it's like, why would I do that? Well, one, it's a co-thread. I might want to, so whatever. It's like I wait for the right time, but you can do it right away. Okay. Next, let's imagine. I'm going to have trouble with this one. Let's put this here. Let's see if that works. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. How do we feel about this white Panuki? I'd rather this was a black Panuki. Black is so strong here, it's a waste of time for him to take the left. And if I do it, I'm not even sure of my life. What a horrible time for white to capture this stone. Terrible. Ah, well, that's when you make the switch. Now, most of you know this one. He doesn't want to do the the Atari because you have a double Atari and you'll end up with too much 99.9% of the time. So he'll fix. You get now you get a Panuki on the top and he gets the corner. So it's just switching positions. So I would just say this is probably 3 to 5% of the time it's appropriate for white to switch and get it on top. But this time there's no Aji. So you don't want to do it every time because there's nothing in the future. All you do is got a Panuki. The other way you get a Panuki with Aji left behind. Okay, so we're here and we've looked at the Hane. And the only time you want a Hane is if you're going to double Hane. Okay, so we looked at that. Then we look at this one. And the most common thing you're going to do here, and we're talking high percentage, is take Sente. So you're going to go play away and do whatever you want to do. Now, before we look at that, you're either going to take the corner, double Hane, or you're going to take Sente. This is the majority of the time. Now, yeah, there's some really fancy Josekis that do a lot of fancy stuff. Well, maybe a better player because of this, that, and the other. Yeah, go right ahead, learn all that. I don't know all that. I know bits and pieces. It's more like you learn how to avoid it is what you do. Because it really can be some complex stuff that you just don't want to know till I don't want to know it still. Okay. So this to get Sente, walk away, or white plays here and walk away. Sente, it's a wonderful thing. Now, in the old days, before AI, we would not do that. We would not dream of it. Of course, we're going to extend. It helps our group for defense. It's big on points. The top's big anyway. Why not? AI says, I'll tell you why not. So first, we need to realize the wall is self-sufficient. If it wants to, it can run along the side and make points and eyes. If it wants to, it can run. If it gets attacked, matter of fact, let's attack it. I'm attacking you. Hey, I'm out. Matter of fact, you're weaker than I am. Well, that was easy. There's no attack. Well, I'll attack this way. Oh, I'll just live. Thank you. So that's two options for health. You can also run this way. Whatever white does, black could still ignore if he wants, or just run out and have casual comfort, casual health. And also, that 4 stone's weak and we can touch it and mess with it a bit. So I would say we have 3.5 options for health. And as we've mentioned so many times, that's how we define health, is if you have 3 or more, at least 3 options for health, you are therefore healthy. And we're here, we'll just state it all. There are 3 types of options. Option 1, running. Oh, we got healthy awful fast. We just got out. So that running away, that's one option for health. That's what White just did with 4. I ran away. White's now healthy. Another type of option, life in one move. I can get 2 eyes, next move. That's a pretty good option for health. It's not like, if I start now, I'll be able to live with some sequence. Well, yeah, but living in one move, I can get 2 eyes, next move. That's total health. That's great. Third option is your opponent is weak. Hard for him to attack you if he's the weak one. So let's put this here, and we'll put a white stone here. So our A group has 1 option, I can run out. 2 options, I can run out. Third option, White's so weak. White's weak here. If White tries something, I can attack and be healthier. Now, when I look at this specific situation, I'm not entirely sure that's true, but just in general, it's like, he's weak. Well, he can't do anything against me. So that's a good option. So 3 types of options. Okay. So we've looked at black A, black B. Anything else here to look at? There is one Joseki here that I've never played. This one. It's just a weird one to me because black can cut and kill. It was like, well, why would White do that? It's a good question. So let's look at it. Black killed the corner. Well, yeah, but that translates back to the original double Hani, which takes the corner, which isn't that great for black. So White's more than happy. White likes it. White got Sente. So if the ladder works for black on the outside, White doesn't mind. Well, I'll just capture and it turns into the other Joseki. Okay, that still bothers me. But as the game continues, White adds a stone. Okay, now this is quite similar. This shape versus that shape. That we see them both all the time. Wait, let me rephrase that. Just a second. Black, white, black plays away. If white's going to continue, it's here. Okay. This shape we see all the time. Okay. So what's the difference between this one that we see all the time and this one, which I've never played? I'm sure I will someday, but it just freaks me out that you're playing a move that you know is cut. That bothers me. So why would one choose this? Well, because We could see this as a two-stone wall. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Let's go to the bottom right and say this two-stone wall, let's make it this two-stone wall, we extend from it. We all know this. Well, why don't you extend that way? Well, because walls face a certain direction. Okay, so on upper left, where does this two-stone wall face? Faces that direction, right down to the edge of the board. That's not a great direction to face. Well, let's go the other way. Where does that face? Ah, that one faces this direction, which is a great direction to face. That's why you would choose this one over the other one. It's better for the outside. Oh, upon hearing that, I'm going, maybe I will start playing that. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So we've looked at A, we've looked at B. Anything else? Last thing is we talked about black taking sente and walking away, which is the most common. But there's a lot of pros that feel that this is not good for white. So let's continue the Joseki. So since a lot of pros feel that way, that's why we get this move. So that black can't play that Joseki. And there's a lot of details here, but let's look at the continuation. We don't do this one because of this, right? We looked at that before. Ko in the corner, white only has one eye, can be a bother. So we go this way. And now black cuts. Okay. Two ways forward. Capture. Put it here. That's a pretty nice outside. Black's getting the top, black's getting the right, black's getting the center. We would need context to see if white likes or dislikes this, but in general, that just totally is better for black. Well, white could play away. Say, well, I'll just negate your wall. Oh, well, then I'll capture you. Great, I'll just live this way. Okay. I did this somewhat recently against 9-Dan and felt really good about playing away in Sente. It was really important at the time. Okay, so yeah, that's possible. But in all those variations, black's doing good things on the outside and white's small. So the basic Joseki is to capture this stone. We play out Joseki, Atari, capture, Atari, fill, capture the stone, get that guy in, settle, settle. Okay. On top, white has a very comfortable group. You can choose this, a growing move for the top, this completely stable, this bigger and stable enough if the context warrants it. Okay, that's all good and fine. Or start the fight. And here. And we start a whole fighting thing. So the Hani at A starts a fight, which is rather common. My Dr. Baduk guy, Dr. Baduk guy, my favorite YouTube guy, he did this recently against a world champ, started this fight and won the game. Yeah, this is totally done in professional all the time. So you see how it can start getting more and more complex. Then a variation leads to fighting. Then it all depends on context. So as an amateur, you might say, I want to keep things simple and clean. I don't want to face all these variations. Well, probably play here. It's the most common. Strong, finished, done deal. And then when it's time to play again in the upper left, just come on up. That's a very healthy group, ready to attack the top, develop the left, whatever's next. Very good, worthwhile group. Or start that one knowing that, everything's fine. I know we can cut me. And then really looking forward to this great shape and doing a lot more on the outside. Okay? But done. Now, I play this all the time, only when it's like I do not want to face black's answer. Then I'll switch it, but that's almost never. So I'll just do this. Generally speaking, black plays away, and that gives me the opportunity quite soon, Atari and down. I've got good points. Black's wall, his A wall, is self-sufficient, but it's not doing anything. It's undercut. If white wants, white can come up, which is an attack. Black used to be able to run in this direction in Sente. Now, not at all. That's a nice move to get in Sente, because now black's down to 2 options for health. And if black plays it, you're simply getting more points. And black still doesn't have anything. He's undercut. So I like this as white, which is why I so commonly play this move. Boom, boom. Then what? Black usually plays away. And I get the great turn. But if black does do this, okay, I can handle this. It's not too hard. Okay. So we've looked at A, we've looked at B, we've looked at various Josekis. This was the one that's the guy specifically asked about, and we don't do A. Feel free to jump out ahead, or I think jumping out ahead is better because this doesn't bother black much, right? You're still playing your B13. May as well just play your B13. Yeah, check each context each time. I mean, well, that's what go is, right? Every time you make your choice. Okay, well, I think that's it. Going over basics yet again. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. Catch y'all later.